Welcome to Critter Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV, Upper Mississippi River Valley, and today we've got a lot of jobs that we need to get done on the farm. We did finish up a bunch of stuff last episode, but this guy was spreading lime on this field, and it looks like we might have just missed a little corner here, so I'm going to go ahead and get this guy started up. We're going to take out this little tiny bit that we missed because we're about 10 feet away from the stop sign here. And then we're going to actually, I think, take this guy over to the field that we were just chopping on and get him started over there. This is not that slow of a job. It'll go pretty fast, I think, but we are going to have to go back and forth with the lime a few times, go get some refills from town. And because of that, I want to get this guy moving as quick as possible. So we're going to send him right on over to this other field here real quick. And here we are. Let's go ahead and get a play course all set up here. Clear out all of our settings from the previous field, and we should be able to just jump on in here and accept all the same defaults that we've been using in the other fields. I love that Courseplay is pretty smart about keeping all of our settings for us. It makes things very convenient. And we'll go ahead and just accept these defaults. It's been working pretty good. My only concern will be making sure that he doesn't end up in the irrigation ditch over here. And of course, it looks like the starting point's way on the other side of this field, but I think I'm just going to trust that Courseplay can take care of this, and we're going to hop on over here and get the manure spreader brought out here. I guess I should just say slurry spreader. We're spreading digestate. But let's see if I can get auto drive to drive this guy out to the other field, because I think we're going to try and get manure going on both of these cornfields over here. So we'll get this all maneuvered over there, and then we'll get that semi brought over too, I think. I know we're going to need more digestate at some point to tackle those fields, and we've got quite a bit left in the semi-trailer here, so I think it makes sense to just send this guy over to the field just like we did with the manure spreader there, and we'll get moving on spreading. Now I suppose we better get both of these off of the field before the dry spreader comes through here and runs into them. That guy is going to cover ground pretty quickly, and because we've got the auto drive course on the outside edge of the field now in this field, that does make it a little bit more convenient, or a little bit more trustworthy, that these vehicles are going to make their way out of the field. So we'll just send them both with auto drive up to the farm, get them out of our way so that we can keep all of our other workers moving. And it looks like this guy is not going to let me start him off on auto drive because we're so low on fuel. There must be some kind of a setting in auto drive that if they can't find a fuel point, that they won't let the worker drive them until they run out. We are flashing orange down there, so I'm going to go ahead and just sneak on out in front of this other one and see if I can bring him up to the farm myself and get this all taken care of. It looks like all of our slurry spreading stuff has gotten up into the field here too. We're going to have to get that started off and get that semi out of the field. We've still got some lime in there, I think. So let's pull over here as long as we're here and get this all taken care of. First things first, we'll go ahead and get Courseplay going with the spreader itself, since it is all filled up already, and then while he's going, we can deal with all of the other monkey business that we've got here. And with this guy off to find his first waypoint, which is on the other end of the field like the lime spreader was, we'll go ahead and pull this semi in, and I think just park him right on the headland over here, or rather on the grass off to the side is going to be a better spot to keep him out of the way. But we'll probably end up just driving him out into the field to refill the spreader. And I'll go ahead and jump in this semi, and we'll just send this back up to the yard to get it out of the way so that we're not running into it when that manure spreader comes back around here on us. There we go. Let's go ahead and get back in this guy and get him back up to the farm. And I see the other one still sitting there in the entrance to the other field. I wonder what's going on there. Let's tab over here and see if I can figure out why He's sitting on, oh, he's stuck on a telephone pole. We're going to go ahead and get him started back off and sent up to the yard so that he catches up with us as we get up there. Might as well clear out our course play courses. Helps to cut down on lag if you get rid of any course play courses you're not actively using. And quick tab through the equipment there. Everything seems to be running. We might as well clear the course on this one and see if I can get started and out on the road before this other one comes barreling past me. I don't want to get trapped behind the driver because as we get up to the road here, it's going to be a slow go. And yeah, there we go. Let's get this up to the yard and check back in a minute. I don't think we're going to end up needing to use these anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and put both of the forage harvesters just back in the shed here. We've cleaned them up, we've fueled them up so they're all spick and span ready for next season. And I could have probably pulled that one in the lead up a little bit so that we'd have some more room. Let me just get both of these guys parked in the shed here. And oh my goodness, we're in the wrong vehicle. It's always something. There we go, all parked in under the roof. Should be good to go until next season. And let's go ahead and check in on our other workers here. It looks like we're starting to run low on lime here. We're going to have to top that back off at some point. The worker is handling this field pretty well, though. We're making a lot of progress. I like that. Let's check in here. The slurry spreader's doing great over here as well. Not burning through slurry too fast. So we're going to need to send this semi back out to the field. I don't know why I sent it out to the farmyard when we clearly were going to need a lot more lime to finish off that other field. Luckily, we've got enough to fill up the hopper, so I'm going to send this guy back out to the field, and we'll be out there hopefully in time to refill that lime spreader again. And while that truck makes its way out to the field, let's go ahead and check in on our production chains. We're not making TMR, and that's because I believe we've ran out of hay here. So we are going to need to start mowing and get some hay done. Now, we've got a ton of hay sitting here in this shed, which I have apparently forgotten all about. But rather than dip into that just yet, since I know we're going to need to cut all of our hay in October here, we're going to go ahead and get all of these mowers started. And I think what I'll do, we'll start on the smaller fields. And I'll send one mower on each of the 3 smaller fields that we have. And then we'll send all 3 mowers on that big field. And if I remember right, our rake is 3 lanes wide on the headlands. So we're going to go ahead and create a job on this field. And I'm going to make sure that we take 3 headland passes on it so that we can have enough width to, or enough lanes of, or swaths of hay so that we can rake them all up and be efficient with the baling. Now, unfortunately, when I do 1 mower at a time on fields like this, it means that I won't be able to follow the same course with the rake and the baler. But that's actually okay because it means that we'll be able to do a little bit of that work ourselves, kind of a trade-off between automating everything and doing some of it manually. So I'm going to take this mower out to the field on the other side of the house there and get it started off. And just like that, we're off. This guy should be quite efficient at doing this. I just want to make sure he's making that corner there. And we'll tab back around and see if I can find my other mower here. You'd think I'd just learn to go into the map and click on my equipment so I don't have to tab through every piece of equipment that I own, but we haven't done it yet. And I'm hesitant to remove equipment with the mod that you can park equipment because then I forget that I have it. And I suppose as long as I'm driving by it, I'll ruin the surprise. We've got an 8410 John Deere here that we've put onto the baler. And this is going to have enough horsepower to pull that baler even on the hills and such. That's a mod from Skywalker Farms, also Dairy Deer from our moderator group. He's was kind enough to send that over to me well before it got released, and now it's been released for a while. In fact, I believe by the time this video goes out, there's actually an update coming out for that tractor that I'll have to remember to pick up. And oh my gosh, we've gotten stuck on our hill here. It's always something on the farm. But I'm excited to put that baler through the paces and see what we can do with it, see that it's going to keep up with everything, and then we can put one of our smaller tractors on that rake, I think, and it should work out perfectly for us. And here we go. We've got the last of these mowers now being productive, getting some of our fields mowed. Let's take a quick look around the farm. I think we've got a few of these trucks full of chaff still, maybe, from doing all of the cornfields. Let's make sure I've got everything all emptied out, cleaned up here. Man, these trucks are a mess. We're going to have to get these all washed up here soon. But it looks like maybe I've just got some chaff in this one. I wonder if I've got any room for it anywhere. Let's check the production chains building. I've got a little bit of storage in the main one here, it looks like. If I check the other two, I think those are both full. Yeah, these are both full. So let's go ahead and see if we can put this into the harvester on the farm. That will let us kind of put the corn forage harvesting stuff to bed. We'll be all done with it and not have to think about it anymore. And I'm excited to be moving on to the next set of jobs. Now, we do have a trailer over there full of silage that we're going to have to get rid of at some point, sitting in the BGA yard. We'll deal with that once we start getting the TMR production moving again. I do want to get these trailers all emptied out, but honestly, it's not going to hurt anything sitting in there. I don't think we're going to need that other trailer. Now, let's see if all of this is going to fit into our harvester. I think it is. I think we've got enough room, and we do. Look at that. Perfect. I'm excited. Well, we'll go ahead and bring this up into the yard. I'll get all this equipment cleaned up off camera, and we need to get jumping into our next job. We might as well bring this red semi up into the yard as well. I'll get it parked up here by the silos, I think. And I'm thinking about it, if we're going to do our sunflower harvest next, we are going to need to grab the grain trailer so that we've got somewhere to dump our sunflowers, and we're going to need a tractor at some point to put onto our grain cart as well. Although I guess we've got the 8RX, and the grain cart's a tracked grain cart. We could get all of that hooked up and running out there. I don't think we're using the 8RX for anything right now. We're not going to use that for baling anymore, so we'll go ahead and top off the fuel tank and get these trailers swapped out. But we took a moment and cleaned up all of our equipment here as well. Make sure that everything's shiny and new before we go into the next stage of harvest here. I do like to try to keep the equipment clean, especially between major jobs. I don't think it makes much sense to do it when you're in the middle of something and you know you're just moving it from one field to the next. But this feels like a big jump from one job to the next job, and I don't know, it felt like the right time to get stuff cleaned up. And we're going to go ahead and just bring this semi out to the field. Now, I don't have an auto drive course set up for the sunflower field yet, so we're going to have to drive this out here ourselves. And we'll probably end up having to make some auto drive tweaks to get things moving. I'm seeing my slurry spreaders sitting there not doing anything. So I think what we'll do, we'll just park this on the grass over here, and I'm hoping I'm not going to be in the way for getting the combine into this field. Maybe we'll back up a little bit to give me some room to get turned into that driveway. The combine's pretty big. And yeah, this will do good here. We are going to have to make sure this is ready to harvest. It is. All right. I'm just not used to sunflowers. We haven't done a lot of them. Before we grab the combine, though, I think I need to double check what's going on here. We are out of slurry, it looks like, parked in a very convenient spot right on the end of the field here. So let me grab this semi and we'll get him topped off and moving again before we jump into the next job. And I'm seeing that our lime spreader's just sitting there on the corner too. That setup has a little bit of struggle with very curvy paths, and sometimes it gets hung up on sharp curves, or it might be out of material. I don't know which it is, but we'll have to hop over there and get that guy going before we get too far along on everything else. And we didn't quite get lined up very well here. I'm going to have to Try and back this up. We might have to pull forward and get a better angle. Oh, no, we're going to get it. Perfect. Well, we'll go ahead and fill that up. I love how you can see the slurry spreader getting heavier. As you fill it up, it sank down onto the wheels there. That was pretty cool. And I'm just going to pull this off onto the grass here. We're going to need to refill a couple more times, I'm sure, before we're all done with this field. We'll get the slurry spreader going again, and then probably hop out over into the other field and get stuff moving. Yeah, it looks like we've actually got lime in here, and it just got hung up on the corner most likely. So let me see if I can start this guy back off on the nearest waypoint. It's not really seeing a waypoint over here. I don't know what's going on with this. It was probably trying to follow the headland around to get over to the course that's up on top of the hill here. But I think what we'll do, we'll get this guy lined up, and then we should probably just refill him as long as he's stopped and we're on the end row here. See if we can get the lime semi-truck here heading back up to town to top it off with some more lime. If it's empty, that is. There we are. Let's see if I can find the right hopper and get all of this unloaded. I don't know if we're actually going to get all of this into the lime spreader, though, because there was a little bit left in the lime spreader. And if I remember right, when we're unloading this semi, there's always a little bit left in one of the hoppers. So since we're doing this, I'll say suboptimally, we may end up with the better part of a hopper left in here. We're getting through a lot of it. We got more than a half a hopper left. Maybe I'll leave it up here, and we'll top this thing off one more time before we run all the way back up to town. Because I've already got the seed in this thing, it feels like such a waste to be running it up to town when we're already gonna not be filling up 1.5 hoppers. So yeah, we'll just fold this up. I'll park it here on the end of the field, and we'll deal with it next refill. So all that running around, and we're finally ready to start getting into our sunflower harvest, which I'm very excited about. We have not harvested a new crop in a while, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's see, I don't have an auto drive course set up for this field yet, so we're going to have to drive this one all the way out to the field on our own. Thankfully, we've got this nice folding corn header on here that makes life really easy. And I realize that you can get dedicated sunflower cutting heads, but I think the corn head's going to work out just fine for us. So rather than expand the equipment on the farm right this minute, I think we'll stick with this head. And man, does that really block the view here in first person. That makes it hard to drive around. I always love giving first person a little bit of a shot from time to time, but I just don't think it's for me. Left that area over there to potentially turn into, but it doesn't look like we're going to need it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all unfolded. We're seeing all kinds of messages about our workers here. We're going to have to go check in on them. We'll jump over here and see what's wrong while that thing's unfolding. I think I'm just going to top off this lime real quick, because that means I'm going to be able to send this semi up to town to get it refilled, which my favorite part of farm sim, or farming in general, but farm sim here specifically, is this time of year where we've got so many different jobs going on right now. We're trying to keep the spreader going. We're trying to keep the slurry spreader going. We're trying to get the harvester moving. We just finished up a bunch of chopping. We're feeding cows. We've got mowers going. We're going to have to jump in and start raking and baling soon. We've just got so many jobs going on right now that I love the jumping around between a lot of different things. I get kind of bored when it's just one job that we have that we're working on for long periods of time. I love the variety. And I want to get this job specifically done very quickly, because we're going to need to hook this tractor up, the 9RT, to our tillage equipment here soon. So I'm wanting to get that going because it's a slow-ish job, and I don't want to be sitting here for a whole episode just watching tillage get done. We're going to send this back up to the bulk fill point, and we'll get another load of lime coming out to the field here soon. I'll get this guy all started up, and then we can get back to it. And then just real quick checking in, it looks like our slurry spreading's going great. We've still got a fair amount left in the tank, and we're already on the in-between rows, so that's good. And then it looks like this swather got stuck on a hard corner. We better get our guy moving again here so that we can move on to that big field. I really want to get all these mowers started on that. Oh, we got onto the wrong courseplay course. There we go. That's better. Continuing to make the rounds. It looks like this guy's almost done. Doing great. We're going to finish that up. And oh, this one actually finished the field already. Well, that's awesome. We'll go ahead and clear out that field. I'll get him brought over to the big field, but I don't want to start any of them off until all three of them are ready. I find that if I keep them together, kind of moving in a pack, that they end up having a lower probability of, say, one starting to do up-down rows and trying to turn around, and the other one's still working on the headlands, and they kind of run into each other, and things just kind of get to be a mess if they get too far ahead. So I'll bring this guy up to the end of the field, and we'll wait until the other two are done to start him off. I am going to just set up the courseplay course here for him, though, real quick. Switch it over to 3 tools, 1 headland instead of the 1 tool, 3 headlands that we had before. We'll generate this, and then I can have that copied into the clipboard so that when I do bring the other guys over here, I can just paste this right in, and we'll have all of the swathers ready to go. And with all of those distractions finally out of the way, oh, Andy 7 is blocked by an object. Nope, we're not doing it. We're going to get the sunflowers going. I'm going to open up the field a little bit here. We're just going to take out a big chunk so I've got some room to turn around and figure things out here. I do want to try and use the courseplay grain cart unloader, so I want enough room so that I can park a semi and have the grain cart have some room to get around. So I'm going to take out a little bit more than I might normally, just because it's going to be a minute before we get to 2 full headland passes, and having a little extra is just going to make my life easier, I think. And we'll go ahead and use courseplay on this, because if I start doing it manually and then I want to add courseplay later, it's just a big mess, and then I'm re-driving over areas that I've already harvested. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this guy up with 2 headland passes. Should be enough for a 12-row combine. And then I think everything else is good. We'll go ahead and get this guy started off, and I'll go get the grain cart set up. I think I need to get that out here probably sooner than later. This isn't generating that many bushels, although 110 bushels an acre, that's actually a fair amount of sunflowers. I guess I forgot that they were quite this voluminous of a crop. I'm not sure we're going to get all the way around the field before we fill this combine up, which is a great problem to have. And we can't forget that we sent the semi up here to get some more lime, so we might as well get this guy going back out to the field, because I'm pretty sure our lime spreader is going to be out of lime any minute now and just sitting around waiting for a delivery. So we'll get this guy moving. I really should work on tweaking the auto drive course down here at some point, so that hopefully he can automatically fill himself up down here without me having to get him unstuck and manually run that. But for now, we're just going to live with it and keep doing it manually. It's not that big of a deal. And of course, we've got another mower stuck. The side hill down here is pretty steep, and I think these guys get a little bit hung up here. Yeah, he's having a hard time getting moving. That's all right. We'll try and get this set up and started back off. We're almost done here, so I really can't imagine that he'll get stuck too many more times. It looks like it is moving now, though, so let's see what else we got. Looks like our combine is starting to get full, 62%, and we haven't even started on the last side. I guess we're about halfway done with the headlands, maybe a little bit more. But we've got to take this all the way down to the corner and then start cutting in. I don't think we're going to make it, so we need to get our act together and get that grain cart hooked up and brought out here pronto. So we've got the 8RX just sitting here, nothing better to do. This is going to work out perfectly because normally I've been running that 9RT on the grain cart, and the 9RT is not only in the middle of a job, but has another big job with the tillage lined up for right after it's done with the lime spreading. So I want to get this hooked up here. We'll bring this out to the field and get that sunflowers moving. Now, before we actually go unload the combine, I had noticed that all 3 of our mowers are now done and ready to go. So I'm going to hop in here. We got this one all set up, and I'm going to get it started. And we're going to actually get all 3 of these started and running. So I'm just going to run them left lane, center lane, right lane. I think that makes the most sense. And I've got to just give him a chance to get out of the way before we start each new one. I think it makes the most sense to give them a second. If you start them off too quick and they're sitting on top of each other, I've noticed that there's a little bit more odd behavior. So I just want to see that it starts mowing, and then I'll hit go on the next one, and off we go. Got all 3 of those cranking now. We can finally get back to our sunflowers. So I did send the 8RX out here to field 7 to make my life a little bit easier, just because that way he was driving while we were doing all the stuff with the mower. And we still need to set up a dedicated point for the field that we're in. I don't even remember what field number that is. But let's see if I can find a way to get into the back corner of this field without having to drive all the way around the field following the path the combine took, because that's going to take a long time. I'd prefer to see if I can just hop the ditch over here. It looks like there's kind of a shallow area. There might even be a driveway further up, but I think I'm going to be brave. And this looks pretty shallow here. We're going to try and tackle this. Oh my goodness, it's actually looking a little bit more steep than I thought it was. That's all right. It's done now. And we'll go ahead and get these sunflowers unloaded. Now, I don't remember this combine being a particularly fast unloader, unfortunately. So we're going to just sit here and wait until it's done. And then we'll figure out where we're going to park this thing. I guess while we're waiting for that to unload, I might as well jump over here and get the lime refilled on the spreader one more time. We're getting pretty close to the end of this field. I think we're probably going to need another refill, though, before we're all said and done, because we still have the headland passes to go. And that's going to take a fair amount of lime, if I remember correctly. So I think we're going to end up making one more trip back up to town with that thing before we're all said and done. And it looks like the sunflowers are unloaded. Let me back out of the way here so that the combine can do its thing. There we are. And I'm trying to think, where should I park this thing? I guess I'll just leave it here in the corner because we've got another headland pass that we need to do. And trying not to run over the crops here. We do have crop destruction turned on in this save. So I'm going to park him here because the next headland pass should be a little shorter, and he'll be able to get to this point again before he needs to be unloaded. And just out of curiosity, I'm hopping back in here. We're still bringing in 110 bushels an acre on these sunflowers, which is a pretty good yield. I'm excited about that. That means we're going to have quite a few crops coming off this field, which means we'll be making more than a couple semi-trips up to the bins to store them, everything. I like it. I like having more things to do. I love the variety. Let's go ahead and hop back over here and finish unloading this lime. There we go. Should be about topped off. We're sitting in that same position we were before, though, where I've got half a hopper of lime left in here. I guess I'll just move this out of the way and get the spreader going again before we worry about anything else. And if we just park this right back over here, I have no idea where the spreader's going to end up needing to be refilled next, so we might as well just put it on the headlands right over in front of this driveway. I don't think anything else is going to need to get out right now, so we'll do it there. And I guess we should check in on some of our other jobs around the farm here next. Jumping over here into the mowers, it looks like we just wrapped up the first headland pass. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have run 2 headland passes for a total of 6 rows worth of space off of the edge. Looks like they're going down to start the up-down rows. It's probably enough space. I mean, these things turn pretty tight. I'm not too worried about it. But now that I think about it, I think I did do more rows last time. That's all right. And it looks like our slurry spreader is stopped down here doing the headland passes, so we'll go ahead and get that guy refilled. I am honestly quite surprised that we still have digestate in this trailer. I know we're using a unrealistic fill capacity version of this trailer right now because we are moving so much material around, but man, this thing holds an enormous amount. It's made our lives easier because we don't have to keep running up to the farm to refill it all the time. But yeah, there's a line between quality of life and just an astronomical amount of storage. So I don't know, maybe we're overdoing it, but I have enjoyed not having the slurry spreading be a huge hassle. I know this is one of those things that I could just be sending this tanker back up to the farm to refill himself every time, the spreader that is, but it takes a lot longer, and I don't mind hopping over here to do some of these jobs because it's not that frequent. I feel like we're only refilling this guy once every 15-20 minutes, and it's a good change of pace from doing everything else, and it helps us stay in touch with where we're at from a progress perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy started. We'll get this semi off of the field, and then we're going to go check in on the sunflowers again. Now, I don't see the combine here yet, but what I'm going to do is drive this down to the end because he got full in that corner, and the combine unloads especially slow. So I want to get down here to the corner. It looks like he's coming around the corner right now, and then we can unload the long way down this field where it's nice and straight. And hopefully he'll be empty by the time we get to the end there, and he'll be able to continue around, and that should maybe give us enough to go get the semi set up, because I do want to run the course play unloader in this field at some point. It's just easier to handle the headlands yourself sometimes, so we're gonna just jump over here and keep him moving. But after we get this load through, I think will be a good time to set up that course play unloader and let the AI try and handle keeping this combine moving for us. There we go. We're working our way through the sunflowers here, but man, that unload speed is nothing spectacular. It's going to take a minute to get that hopper empty. We'll probably be empty by the end row, but I kind of expected it to go just a smidge faster than that. And there we go. I think we're about empty. I'm just watching how fast the bushels are filling up here. I guess it's still going pretty fast. Maybe we've still got a little bit in there. There, now it's slowing down. All right, so I think we finally got it empty. Might as well just take him up to the corner here, and then I'll let him keep going around the corner. And of course, we've got another AI worker that's blocked by something. I don't know what the deal is there, but I don't see a lot of point in trying to keep up with this guy. As he keeps going, we'll probably, well, we might as well take it up here. I wanted to get this guy unloaded into the semi, so I'm going to take him up to this end of the field anyway, and we'll see if we can get this AI stuff set up. But first, let's check in on all these workers that have stopped. It looks like we're done with spreading the slurry on the fields out here. So I'm going to take this out to the same field we're spreading the lime in right now, and might as well get him going. We'll top off our digestate before we head out there, though. No sense wasting the energy when we're parked right next to it. We might as well start the next field off completely full. And of course, it wouldn't be a update trip if we didn't have to come and reload our lime spreader. Oh, it's actually still got some in there. Oh, I bet he got stuck because of the sharp corner. Well, we're here now. We might as well get the lime topped off. That'll empty us out. I can send this guy back up to town to get more lime, and he'll get back not before the lime spreader runs out of lime, but we do have this handy course that goes around the outside of the field, so I should be able to start him off right here. And have a high chance of success of him making his way back up to town. And then we'll help this guy out, who is unfortunately not able to handle any kind of a sharp corner. And then we might as well run the slurry spreader out here. I don't see any reason not to have both implements going at the same time. It's a very low probability that they're going to run into each other, even though they have different courseplay courses here. So I'll just set this up. His default settings should be good to go here. And a quick check in on our mowers, since it's been a minute since we took a look. Everything seems to be going good for them. We might as well work our way back over here to, oh my goodness, we're blocking the combine. I was thinking we'd go ahead and get this thing ready to go, but it's a mess down here. Well, maybe we'll go ahead and wait for this guy to get spun around here, and we can unload our sunflowers on the way back down, since he had about a half a hopper, and then that'll be enough for me to go and get that semi out here into the field, and we can start unloading into it and all that good stuff. So I'm just gonna work my way over here, set us up to unload on the go. There we are. And he's empty, so let's park this here. We'll just shut it down. I should be out of the way for when he comes back down the other side there. And we'll grab this semi and get it pulled out into the field here. I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? We need an auto drive course into here at some point, but I don't know if I really want to worry about that right now. I think what we'll do instead is just get the semi brought out here. We'll flip it around, park it on the grass edge of the field here, pointed back up towards the driveway. That way we'll have an easy time getting out of here. And yeah, something like that ought to work good. I think that the Courseplay AI is smart enough to figure out that that's on this field and a valid target. So if we jump over here, I think we just leave this thing in combine mode and hit play. I don't think we have to do anything with Courseplay. It should just sit here and wait until the combine gets to the call mode, and then it'll have us come over. So let's check in on all of our other jobs. It looks like everybody's kind of doing their thing here as we tab around the farm. We're gonna need to set up the mowers and stuff here, but I think we're gonna save that for next episode. Really, I just want to wrap up these last couple of jobs. We've got the lime spreader with the oscillation of doom. This is one of the problems with these two-tracked tractors sometimes. We can just get him pointed in the right direction and send him off here again. Maybe he'll do a little bit better. That looks better. And yeah, we're just going to need to get this lime spreading done so I can start doing tillage. We've got the slurry spreading coming in behind this. And then we're going to have to jump over and start working on baling up hay and whatnot next episode. We've got the sunflower harvest going on. We are just busy campers here. And so I'm going to sit here and monkey with this wonky oscillation right now. See if I can get this fixed. Maybe we'll slow the speed down. See if that helps us out a little bit. It does seem to do a better job. And of course we run out of lime right as we get there. So we'll have to get this job done. But I'll probably wrap some of this up off camera. And we'll check back in with you guys next episode for some more fun. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you have, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Ketterk out.